Welcome everybody. Backup of files is pain in many times. We have an issue with time, with load, with restore, especially if there is a big share, if there are many files. How to backup files fast, how to organize, how to architecture the solution. This is what we want to talk today. My name is Daniel Olkowski and I deal with backup recovery solutions in Dell Technologies. Agenda, we will say, why do we discuss about file backup? Then we will talk about topics, performance, self-backup infrastructure, and of course, restore. Restore together with finding data. This is what we want to talk today. So why do we talk about fast backup of files? What is the issue here? Let's imagine that we have file share. So what we assume is that we have a file share, some CIFS, so Windows or NFS, Linux share that is provided to many users that they are able to use, and we need to backup. It can be on a regular NAS, network attached storage, or maybe it can be shared from Windows or Linux. So we talk about some remote file system, that is very difficult to backup because, of course, if we have a local file system, like we have a Windows, for example, server with local NTFS, then, of course, it's much easier. We can have an agent here, and this is much easier, agent of backup software, and we can backup this much more easier. But now we talk about a little bit different situation. We're talking about a situation where we have share from some system, maybe network attached storage, maybe Windows, Linux server to which we don't have the access, but we need to backup the CIFS and NFS share. And the issues is that usually here we have millions of files. Maybe you have 10 million of files. Maybe we have 100 terabytes of data on this kind of a share or couple of shares. And the backup is slow. In this case, it's huge slow. It takes days. We have an issue to restore, to find the data, how to access those data. We have an issue with restore speed and moment of the time, because if this backup of 100 terabytes of data on this share, 10 million of files on this share, if this backup takes us 2 days, then of course, if something will collapse now, during the midday, we're able to restore on the Wednesday. Today is a Friday, we're able to restore 2 days before Wednesday, which is not value for anyone. System from 2 days ago is not interested from anyone. For me, for example, this presentation from 2 hours ago is also not that much interested. How can we backup? How can we backup this kind of shares fast? What we talk today about is PowerProtect Data Manager, which is a backup software. PowerProtect Data Manager, which is a backup software, is able to backup these file shares, CIFS, Windows shares, NFS shares, shares from network attached storage like Dell, NetApp, whatever vendor. It's able to backup a huge fast. Yeah? And what is the architecture? How this is performed? So PowerProtect Data Manager performs those backups by reading what has changed since the last backup. So for example, if since last backup, it has been changed 2 files, just 2 files has changed. Those 2 files are sent to backup media, okay? Only what has been changed, I mean, only the change, only the delta is sent. And here on a backup media, on a data domain, we have a full backup, okay? So for example, we have a backup, full backup at 12, yeah? Also, and because we're only reading what has changed since last backup, so the backup is huge fast. This backup is huge fast, and we are able to backup at 12. For example, we are able to backup every hour at 12, at 11, at 10, and so on. And please remember that every backup is full. So PowerProtect Data Manager performs only full backups, It doesn't matter if we read 100 terabytes of data 10 million of files, if we read all data without, taking care what has changed since last backup, or maybe we just read the change that since last backup of our huge volume, it was changed only those 2 files. And for example, PowerProtect Data Manager has read only those 2 files sent to data domain. Anyhow, we have a full backup. So PowerProtect Data Manager does not provide incremental backups, differential backups, only full backups. It's a huge important because full backup allows us for fast restore and allows us to granular restore. We can just restore, single element from this one. Yeah. Why full backup is the fastest one? Because if this is a full one, I'm just able to restore immediately. Yeah. If this would be some incremental backup or differential backup, then I would need to have this change connect with some other backups and then restore, or differential one. Okay. But in case of PowerProtect Data Manager, all backups are full. We read what has changed since last backup. We only read what has changed since last backup, but on a backup media, we have a full one. So guys, again, why this is important? We have no load of protected system. If we read during the backup only change data, only delta, yes, then it means that I read very few data. My NAS, my share from Windows or Linux is completely no loaded. He does not fill the backup because I almost don't read the data. Okay, I don't use the network because if I have read 2 files, sending 2 files over the network is a peanuts. I don't care about this one. Yeah. So the network is not used. So my share can be far from backup media. I have a huge speed because if during a full backup, I'm reading only what has changed, it means that the backup is huge fast. I can make those backup frequently. Okay, so this is the huge value. Yeah, Ademola asked if this is by default. Yes, this is by default. Yeah, so if you want to perform, if you look for a PowerProtect Data Manager, we can go to the console, and I will show you that this is by default. We can just define this kind of a backup. Loris, I suppose PowerProtect Data Manager have to have reached each time the whole files on the source, understand what is the delta, or maybe there is some black magic. So the question is, what does it mean that every backup is full and we read the change? So let's imagine that we have the backup at 11 here on a backup media, and this is a full backup. And at 12, we need to again perform a backup. So what PowerProtect Data Manager does, it contacts with the CIFS. It can be no-name CIFS from whatever Windows, Linux servers. It finds the change files since 11. So for example, in our example, since 11, just 2 files has changed, this file and this file. So only those files will be read from these systems. Only those files will be transferred to Proxy, to some protection engines, and sent to backup media. But though we have read only 2 files, on a data domain, we have a full backup. The same backup, the same format, exactly the same as previous one. A regular, normal backup, as we would read all data, 100 terabytes, 10 million of files. Let's imagine that on the CIFS, there is this amount of data. So we will have just normal full backup as we would have read everything, but we didn't have read everything. We have just read only 2 files, sent via network only 2 files, but we can enjoy the normal full backup of 100 terabytes, 10 million of files. Yes, and I agree with Loris, this is magic and this is something incredibly fantastic. Yes, it uses a boost protocol. So from this moment to this moment, there is used a boost protocol. Here it is used absolutely a boost protocol with during ascending a data. So thank you very much for the discussion. Thank you very much for the questions. Yes, it's really magic. It's really fantastic. During a couple of minutes, we can have a full backup of millions of files, of terabytes of the data. Yes, this is absolutely possible. I will show you this one. You see, protection policies. Let's imagine that I want to add a new policy. So again, where we are in the PowerProtect Data Manager. So somewhere else is our PPDM backup software that controls. So PowerProtect Data Manager does not take part in this backup. There is just protection engine Proxy that reads the changed files and sends to backup media to data domain. PPDM just controls this, and you are here now in the PPDM, and I just add a new policy for protecting NAS, CIFS, NFS shares. Let's say CIFS policy. I want to add CIFS policy. I click next. Okay, I can just add whatever credential I have, because to this share I need some credential. Okay, let's say these credentials, and I choose, let's say, some share. I can choose some share, let's say manually. And when I tell him what to be performed, you see, I have synthetic full. Synthetic full. This is what we were talking about. He says synthetic full. So you will have a full backup, a regular full backup, but I will read just what has changed, because I don't want to load this one, the storage. I don't want to load the network. I want you have a huge fast backup. I want you to restore no longer than 1 hour ago, no longer than 1 hour ago. Yeah. Yeah, but this is not everything. This is not everything. Let's imagine that I have 600 gigabytes on some Windows shares to backup. So PowerProtect Data Manager will perform this backup with 3 streams, with 3 slices, because what PowerProtect Data Manager does, he says, oh, I have 600 gigabytes of data. Ooh, I don't want you to wait for this backup a long time. So I will use 3 streams. I will use 3 slices, because for every 200 gigabytes of data, he will create a stream to even more speed up our backup. Yeah, to even more speed up our backup. Again, if I have here 5 million of files, 5 million of files, a big CIFS or NFS shares with 5 million of files, he will say, okay, I will perform backup with 5 streams. For every million of files, I will create a separate stream. So your backup must be huge fast. You must have this backup as fast as possible to make it frequent. So we have a dynamic slicing, which means that it creates multiple streams for particular share that is backed. Yeah. Any question to this one? We can also set it up very easy. You see, just I will show you. We can also set it up very easy. For example, we have a lot of shares. I can choose whatever share I want, and I can say maximum number of streams, because he will automatically be dividing the protected storage. That he will be automatically creating streams based on number of, let's say, gigabytes or number millions of files. Yeah. But I will, let's say it will be 30 streams. I don't want to use 30 streams on data domain, because I have also Oracle, SQL, VMware. I would like this share will have no more than 5 streams. Okay, for example. So I will tell him, hey, PPDM maximum streams, please no more than 5 or no more than 15. Okay, so I can really manage this one very, very easy. Yeah, so Paul, exactly, this is the answer to your question. Thank you very much, Paul. Ask if I have 440 terabytes and 120 million of files. So in this case, if I have a huge share, that huge that Paul mentions, 400, I will write 440 terabytes and 110 million of files. So probably this would determine the huge number of streams, because if we will divide it by 0.2, then we will have, I don't know, 1,000 of streams, yeah, which doesn't make sense. Probably we don't want to have that much more for this one. So we can say, hey, no more streams than 8, or if this is that huge that you have, maybe 30 streams or maybe 20 streams, whatever, yeah. So, so absolutely we can manage this. Thank you very much, Paul, for the question. Hopefully I have answered this. So the single protection engine, you see, in my case, PPDM is somewhere here. PPDM is somewhere here, yes. And he controls the backup of my share, CIFS, NFS, or whatever, Dell, NetApp, whatever, Izilon, whatever. Okay, so PPDM is controlling, but the real backup is performed by the proxy, by the protection engine. You see, here I see protection engines. And in case of NAS, I have one protection engine for NAS that is reading, you know, the data with multiple streams, like in our case, and sending to backup media. So this is very automatic. I just install this and everything is done, just automatic. But this proxy allows for 24 streams. If I want to more, I can just add a new engine. It will be installed just automatically, and I can have many proxies, every of them with 24 streams. Paulus, and all we see is possible supported systems or any CIFS, NFS, Windows 5 server. Thank you very much, Paulus, for the question. We are able to back up any CIFS, any NFS share on whatever storage, on Izilon, on Unity, on NetApp, on what, or it can be Windows share from server, yeah, just Windows share from whatever server, from, you know, whatever NAS, no name NAS, or whatever NAS, or from QNAP, or from whatever, from Linux, whatever. So we're able to back up everything. Up to now, what I have said, it is regardless of the hardware. The solution is hardware agnostic. Hardware agnostic. It works with whatever storage. We can have whatever vendor. It doesn't matter. We can enjoy the huge speed of the solution. Yeah, it doesn't matter. This is just software, and the software is just a proxy. And as Palius mentioned, this proxy is just virtual machine. So here, if I say I want another proxy, if I want to have another protection engine, this will be virtual machine. It will be a virtual, of course, virtual machine, but for this proxy will be for backup of NAS. Yeah, okay, for backup of NAS, and this is of course a virtual machine, and I can have a many, because remember that each of them has 24 streams. So thank you very much, Palius. Mark, how many data domain systems are supported as backup target? We can have as many data domains as we want. It doesn't matter. We can add as many as we want. We can have many of them. You are right. Maybe we can, if there is a lot of streams, maybe we can, maybe you want to have DD9900, which has 2,000 streams, almost 2,000 streams, or we can have even, you know, a couple of data domains, no problem. Paul question, yes, there is absolutely no agent required. Thank you very much, Paul, for your question. This is agentless 100% solution. We don't install anything on this device. Doesn't matter if this is Izilon, NetApp, QNAP, Windows, file server, Linux, whatever. We don't install anything. We don't care about this one at all. I will just add, I will show you, I will just add together with you a new share. I will say, okay, I want to add a new share, and this is share, and I need to just say credentials. For example, this will be a Windows credentials. For example, I can just add credentials. I can say it is CIFS, and I can say this is 192.168.32.45. And I need to say port in the CIFS. Usually this is 445. And he tries to pings, and he say, okay, the format is invalid. Okay, share one, good. And he tries to ping with this port. If this is possible to communicate. Now he cannot communicate because I just, choose fake address and fake share. But this is all. Look, this is all. This is the whole configuration that should be done to backup share one from this machine, probably Windows, because I have chosen CIFS. If I will choose NFS, this will be probably Linux. That's all. That's all. It can be QNAP, NetApp, whatever. That's all. I don't need anything else. Yeah. Proxy is OVA. Proxy is OVA, but we don't care about this one because the proxy is Sergio. The proxy is just look protection engines. I don't need to download anything from Dell. I just say add another engine. If this is not enough, I say this is engine for NAS. I just providing the FQDN, DNS, and so on and so on. I click next, finish, and that's all. I have just a proxy, it will be just installed. Mark, incremental forever, only one full backup is needed. Exactly, Mark. Mark, thank you very much. This is what you said, what you summarized. Yes, only one full backup is needed. Yeah, we call somehow, it is called it incremental forever Valve. I prefer to say full, always full, always full. Vladimir, regarding proxies, is there an automatic spin of additional proxies? No. If we want to have more streams than 24, we need to manually add this proxy, as I said. Yeah. So usually what is recommended that if we say, okay, I think I will have 50 streams, from whatever reasons, I need 50 streams from whatever, a lot of shares, then probably I would need to have, let's say, 3 proxies, because these 3 proxies will give me 72 streams to have some buffer. Yeah, to have some buffer, but very good question. Thank you very much, Vladimir. Thank you. Good. So this is what we discuss, and the whole what we get is speed. We get frequent, and speed is frequent backups. Frequent backups. All backups are full. So we can immediate restore. We have granular restore. We can also set up a retention log. We know that data domain has protection against the hacker ransomware. As a log, so we can say when we define the policy here, look, I have a couple of policies. I will not create a new one, but this is a policy for just backing up, files, some Windows files. If I will edit this one, look, in this policy, I can say, hey, please. PowerProtect Data Manager. I know that you are a backup software. You cannot do a lot against the hacker or ransomware. But if this backup will be on a data domain, please tell data domain to lock this backup for 30 days. So during these 30 days, this backup is not possible to be deleted, not possible to be deleted. And if hacker or ransomware will delete this stuff, will delete my production somewhere, he will try to delete this one. It is not possible. Another thing which is hugely important is self-backup infrastructure. Self-backup infrastructure, because guys, here when we create the policy in PowerProtect Data Manager, I'm able to define what shares I would like to backup. So for example, I would like to backup this one, this one, this one. I need to click them. But maybe I would like to backup only Kubernetes shares, K8S. If any Kubernetes share will appear I would like to be backup automatically. I don't want in PowerProtect Data Manager to click for a new share for Kubernetes. I can, maybe the person from the Kubernetes will forget to tell me, hey, Daniel, there is new share K8S. No. I want that every share, every share which has K8S must be automatically backup. Yes, I can do that. No problem. Look, I can say for cancel. I can say that, for example, hey, PowerProtect Data Manager, please automatically for NAS add to this policy, please add the following shares. All the shares that in the name they contains Kubernetes K8S. He says currently I will add 4 shares, but if so currently he has 4 this kind of shares, but if the 5th share with K8S will appear, he will be automatically added. I don't need to touch it. It is self-backup infrastructure. I tell to him every hour, backup Kubernetes shares, read Delta, have a full, make it huge fast, no problem. Self-backup infrastructure, done, next, happy. Of course, I can tell that all big shares must go to one policy. All small shares must go to another policy. All shares from some Isilon should go to somewhere and be backed up with 30-day retention and kept on this kind of a media and replicated. So based on the NAS, I can do that. But self-backup infrastructure is currently available only for Unity, PowerStore, and PowerScale. Okay. Of course, this list will be extended because what does it mean, self-backup infrastructure? Self-backup infrastructure, it means that someone must say to PPDM, hey, PPDM, there has been created a new share with Kubernetes. Please, or PPDM must be able to ask some NAS device, hey, do you have any shares? It must be able to scan it, to scan it. You see, if we go to the NAS and NAS, asset sources, I go to NAS, I see I have an EasyLoan, and I can click discover. Discover, it means that PPDM occasionally, every couple of minutes, asks, hey, do you have any new to backup? And if this is something like Kubernetes, it will automatically add. If this is not Unity, PowerScale, PowerStore, if this is just, for example, share with 92, 168, 32, 56, let's say CIFS 1, okay, he has no one to ask about the new one. We have just added a share. Okay, we can add those shares, no problem. We can back up them, but we cannot automatically scan new shares on this device because PowerProtect Data Manager does not have anyone to ask. And Paulus, this is the answer to your question regarding the Unity, PowerStore, PowerScale. So we support any CIFS NFS. We can back up huge, fast any CIFS NFS from whatever vendor. It's hardware agnostic, absolutely hardware agnostic. But just for self-backup infrastructure, it is required supported storage Unity, PowerStore, PowerScale. Hopefully, it is somehow clear, somehow understandable for you. Any post backup needed to create always full? No, Mark. No, it is not like in the Vim. So absolutely not. We have a full backup just like that. I'm not sure if in this environment I have performed any backups, but this full is just made in a couple of minutes just itself. We don't do anything. It is just automatically full backup without any question. Please don't believe me. Please mark test it. It's very easy. It's very nice. So please test it and touch it on your own. Of course, if you wish, I can really share this environment with you as well. Okay. So what about the restore? We have performed backup, let's say, of our Kubernetes shares. We have a lot of Kubernetes shares. They can be added automatically. We can back up those shares from any share, from whatever storage. It's hardware agnostic. It can be Dell, NetApp, QNAP, whatever. And we want to restore. We're able to restore to the same storage. We're able to restore to different storage like NAS. We're able to restore to, for example, Linux machine, because this was from Kubernetes, from Linux machine. If this would be Windows, we are able to restore to any Windows server. These are from PowerProtect Data Manager. These are just regular files. Yeah. Here we don't use NDMP at all. NDMP protocol is not used. So it is not NDMP backup. It is regular file backup. I can restore this to the same storage. I can restore this to the another storage, another NAS, another vendor, whatever vendor. Doesn't matter. I can restore this to Linux or Windows regular server. I can restore this anywhere I want. Yeah. Another thing, I'm able to restore the whole share, or I'm able to restore, so we are able to restore whole share, or we're able to restore single file or single files. No problem. So I can restore to original one, to this one, to this one, the whole thing, everything. Further, we're able to search this repository. All my backups, I'm able to search here, find the files that were here on those shares and just restore them to any point, physical point, to any server. Okay, guys, from my side, this is everything. Thank you very much for a discussion, for a hot discussion. I hope this is kind of an interesting technology for you. This is for sure something that can help us, something that can, make the backup time of number of million of files, a lot of files, terabytes of data are really small. It's very nice, very easy, very cost effective. Really, it's very cost effective, believe me. I encourage you to look a little bit more to these technologies, to touch these technologies. Of course, I would be happy to help you to provide the environment. What I want to do during one of the next sessions is perform my own test, provide you the performance numbers with numbers of streams, show you how the backup was going and so on. So I'm very excited about this technology, hopefully you as well. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the discussion. Have a great weekend. Enjoy, hopefully sunny time, and see you on the next discussion. Thank you very much.